Hi, I've replaced one of these flowers. This is Anya Divine here, coming to you from Scotland. I don't know if I ever really properly kind of say who I am and where I am and all that, but well, I do sometimes. Anyway, this is my third day on these flowers. The first 2 days were acrylic, really swift efforts to just get down the first day, the general shape of things and the darks and lights. And then the second day I brought in a bit of colour and I left it a bit kind of dissatisfied with myself. And I came in today and this flower had drooped completely, so I've just replaced it and brought it a bit closer in. So now I'm going to have less space there. I hope it's not going to mean that the composition will be weaker, but I wanted to include all of that flower, and so I brought it closer. I kind of found one that was shorter. Well, I just lobbed a bit off it actually. And I also wanted to start using oil paint. I don't know if you can see the palette there a little bit. I wanted to start using oil paint because I like it, and it feels like I'm close to the end when I start using oil paint, because I like to finish with oil. And I don't want to be painting the life out of everything, you know. So I'm just going to see about what really needs to be established and what's fine to be left alone. Let's just see if this of course these flowers have shifted a bit as well, but this one's got a lovely light falling on it there. So I'm just going to see if this is a good colour. It's a mix of the cadmium yellow and lemon yellow, and this is oil, whereas previously I've been painting in acrylic. So I'm just putting the oil paint on where the acrylic was. It seems to be the same colour. There. And then here, just kind of getting the eye in, looking again. And then there's also a bright yellow there and there, a little bit here, and maybe a touch here too, where it meets the white flower. And then of course there's the one over there. Now I'm not sure if I need to first put a layer of something underneath. I don't think so. I'm just gonna go straight in with the yellow. The thing here is though that the yellow that's there is not at all as bright as the yellow that's here. So I'm going to subdue it a bit with some ultramarine blue. And of course I want it to be opaque enough that it'll sit over the top. I think that's almost the colour. I know it looks unlikely, but it seems to me like it's a kind of a greenish colour in the shade, this daisy flower, chrysanthemum, whatever you want to call it. Right. I've picked up enough that I think it will cover over the dark. And I'm going to find the petal that sits here. It'll cover over the dark, but I'm not sure if it reads as an orange petal in shadow just yet. Let's give it a bit of something more. So there's another yellow one there. And then many of them are this colour, or darker, or brighter. So I'll just put down what I'm seeing best I can. But a wee bit more yellow, lemon yellow and cadmium yellow into this now, so that it's again becoming a bit brighter and thicker and less shadow, because there is one part of the flower that's catching the light here that's very luminous and bright. So just let it be really thick so it sits over that dark grey that I had previously on there before moving the flower for my own gain. But I felt like something was telling me move that flower, because when I came in and it was dead, I thought, okay, I'm not going to put a flower in exactly that position. I'm going to bring it a bit closer so I can get it in the painting fully and not cut off by the edge. Having said that, I think there's some petals that are going to be cut off by the edge. For example, this one that I'm just about to paint. Is it? Let's see now. I mean, really it might be here. It's maybe I've gone too far over with the other ones. Oh yeah, I was just mixing myself up as to which ones were the darks. I think there's one here too that's got a little bit of light on it. Yeah, and I mean back there is going to be darker. So I'll get myself another brush so I'm not making the... So I've still got the yellow on that clean brush, on that yellow brush, and now I'm making a dark colour to bring the background in to meet the edge. To bring the background in to meet the edge of this flower now. So using the ultramarine blue and the raw and the burnt umber. Is it burnt umber? No, it's raw umber. To make a dark colour. And down there would be the green part as well, like, which I've not yet done. I just feel like I want to find the edge of it up here. I put my dress on and went to the beach today, spontaneously, after dropping Lily off at IKEA. She's working today. She was groaning as she was going in. Oh no, it's Easter Sunday. I think she thinks she might get dressed up in a bunny costume or something. Or at least that it's going to be really busy. Secretly, I think she quite enjoys the dressing up part. She dressed up as one of the, I don't know, some character that they have in IKEA last month for something else. But yeah, she was home late last night from the karaoke. Anyway, I put on my Easter dress. I have a dress that I'll show it to you in a minute actually. It's kind of patterned and it feels like an Eastery style dress. So I put that on, and then I thought I might as well go and have a little outing for myself. Nothing's stopping me. So I headed off to Portobello Beach, and I went and had pancakes and coffee in the cafe there. And from that cafe I could see the sea and the horizon of sky and sea with nothing else through 4 windows. I was sitting in the back, but I could see through 4 windows the sky and the sea. So that was lovely. And I had loads of ideas. I often get loads of ideas when I go away. Especially since my phone charger started smoking in the car, so I thought, oh, I better take that out. It was actually burning, like. So I got myself a new charger eventually, but I didn't have it when I was in the cafe. And I think that helped me to focus on, I had a notebook and pen, so I was just writing out things. I really like that where it takes you. Sometimes, like, I'd have a plan that I just worry dump, put everything that's kind of playing in my mind down on the paper. But soon enough, I've kind of forgotten about that, and I'm planning excursions or creative projects, or, you know, started a whole kind of, I'll tell you what I'd love to do, right? And you can laugh at me or whatever. But one thing that keeps coming up for me over and over, and there is slight shame around it, I want to be the next Bob Ross. What do you think of that? I just love the idea of doing stuff like for everybody to do on camera. Kind of encouraging people in their own homes to pick up a brush or tear some paper to make something. And if some of you who are listening might remember, I did 30 Days of Art with Anya a few years ago. It's that kind of thing, you know, where you just do something for maybe 5 or 10 minutes every day that's kind of accessible and freeing. So there you have it. That's one of my little dreams that I'm thinking, who can I talk to about getting a commission, about commissioning a program? Here, you might as well, might as well dream big. Maybe that's not dreaming big, I don't know. But anyway, there we have it. That's one thing I'd love to do. Just that golden glow kind of feeling of sharing in the joy of this carry-on. Yeah, the golden glow feeling came from a book I'm reading. Well, a book I dip into now, then called The Big Piece, I think it's called. And she has like maybe an idea per week for a year or something on things you can do to bring more peace into your life, something like that. Anyway, I haven't read it from start to finish by any means, but I pick out some things that I like in it. And the thing that I picked out last week when I was sitting in a coffee shop, I just opened it up and there was these golden glow moments. And she was saying to write down 10 things in the last, I think she said week, that give you that golden glow feeling inside. And then if you can't think of them in the last week, the last year, or the last decade even, is fine. But just see if you can summon up moments where you feel that golden glow of happiness, and I'm in the right place at the right time, and this is exactly what I want to be doing, and time stands still, and all of that stuff. I knew what she meant about golden glow. I think that's a good name. And I immediately kind of summoned up things like I was kind of considering particularly my work, and there are so many golden glow moments through my work. Like I really love that whole carry-on of interacting creatively with people. I think we're all at home there. Anyway, there have been a few times when everything else has been completely sorted for me, when I'm teaching a workshop, for example, and I've just had this jubilant feeling of, oh, hey, life is great, and I only need to, my only responsibility is interacting with people on that creative level. I don't have to worry about tea and coffee, or where people are going to sleep, or their lunch, or all of that stuff has been sorted by somebody else, or so I was thinking to myself, I can do this myself. Like I can create situations where I don't have to be organising every single thing. I can simply do the stuff that I know that I love and that I'm good at. Because I feel like I'm very inspired myself. I feel like I'm good at interacting with people on on what they want from their work and all of that, and I really love being able to go deep into that stuff. So that's why I was thinking of delegating everything else and making sure that my time is spent on that carry-on that I really love. I'm just going to find something to describe this flower a bit too, because I've been ignoring this one a little bit, haven't I? I think this may be overkill now, just doing everything everywhere. Or not enough simplicity, I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep at it anyway. I think the morning light is a bit different too. So anyway, I was thinking of getting an event planner or somebody to who understands what I do, to come and help me with all the peripheral stuff, including, I'd love to do a residential course. Would I? I think I would. Where things are sorted for everybody. I know that they're all going to be fine because of organised accommodation and food and board and all that stuff. Maybe even entertainment. Or somewhere we can all be together in the evenings. So these are the kind of ideas that were burbling up inside in the cafe this morning. And it was nice sitting there musing about what things I would like to bring into my life this year. Feels good. I'm noticing the back of one of these white flowers has got this kind of bluish grey hint to it back there. And maybe there's a couple of petals here that have that too, but exaggerated. I made it a bit more blue than I wanted it to there, really. what I wanted it to be, so I'm going to put some more raw umber into it and then some more white, so that now it looks like that. And I'm going to repaint that flower. I mean, when I half close my eyes, all of this area is fairly shadowy. So I could probably do with reducing the tone in places. And then there are bits that are quite light too. I love these flowers, I love painting them. The kind of 1, 2, 3-ness of it all, you know, this simple one after another, gradual building up of shapes that make something recognizable. And I'm trying my best now to just observe with care rather than have any plan as to how it will turn out, I suppose. But it sometimes helps me to know that I don't want to do too much. And I wonder if I've kept that enough in my consciousness. Not sure about this area here. There's a bit more greyness happening over there. Grey-green. So I'm just making up something that I think looks a bit more like that colour. I think this is it. Something like that. Underneath the petals, it feels like it's like that. I didn't go for a run today. My friend's got an injury who runs with me. And so I thought I might see if I can find a running group, because I feel like I don't want the responsibility of motivating myself all the time. I am in the habit during the week of going out in the morning after, because I take Maisie out anyway on the days that she's not with the dog walker, which is Monday, Wednesday and Friday. No, Monday, Wednesday and Thursday. And even then on Friday and Tuesday I've been going out with her in the evening for a run. So I had been running pretty much every day, but yesterday and today I didn't run. Friday I went dancing. And today's Sunday, isn't it? I think I did. Oh, I didn't have a run on Friday either. Friday, Saturday or Sunday. I've had a weekend off. You see, so this is the thing I think I could do with I'll probably go for a run this evening. Because I love it, really. Maybe not immediately, but I love it afterwards. And I also love it partly when I'm running. If I can get into that space of being able to breathe easily, then I can just mull things over. It's a bit like that brain dump. It kind of happens that as I'm running, there's a certain rhythm to it that helps me to just let go of stuff, or let it kind of detangle through my mind, and then suddenly, I don't know, not suddenly, but it just feels kind of nice. Right, I need to do the underside of these flowers up here. And actually I wanted to bring too some shadow into that one. That shadow there, I'm quite satisfied with that colour, and I feel like when I half close my eyes, this flower up here also has, maybe not quite that dark or that reddish, but there's some sort of a shadow here that I want to explain too. Keep half closing my eyes because I want to see clearly and simply the general feel of the thing, as opposed to the detailed botanical illustration of the thing. I often find that the simplest sweeping statement is the thing that helps us to know the kind of positioning of the flower in space and the character it, the kind of energetics of it somehow, more than, for me, more than explaining it. I don't like when I explain everything completely, usually. Sometimes I love it, I tell a lie. You know, I love that kind of intricately going into things in great detail, like a watchmaker and all those cogs or something. But then there's other times when I get impatient with that and I just feel like I could have stopped sooner and I could have just illustrated that flower with one single sweep of a yellow 2-inch brush. Of a 2-inch brush loaded with yellow paint, I mean. Anyway, so this is one of those grappling with. Maybe it's one of those paintings that lets me know what it is that I like and don't like, or there's questions, you know. I like when there's questions. And Daisy's getting a bone from the neighbour. What about this one? It's kind of nice working with the oil paint, the buttery oil paint. I'm just bringing back in some yellow into this petal here. It's a little bit tricky sometimes, depending on where the light is falling, to be able to see clearly what the tone is and what the shape of things are. Right, I'm going to do the centre of this one. I mean, the thing about paintings too is that you know how you kind of put all the eggs into the basket of the painting you're in, and that's actually a really helpful thing for me to remember. This is only one painting. I don't have to, you know, anything that's learned here could be taken on to the next one. So, big deal if it's not exactly the success I had wanted it to be. I remember reading about that sometime, and the person saying, you know, that's what keeps us coming back all the time, is wanting it to have, wanting to get, to really do that, you know, to really, you know, that it keeps us coming back because there's still something undiscovered that we want to see. And I think it's good to have that yearning. You hear sometimes spiritual teachers talking about like being attached and all that, and like always wanting to do the best painting. But I quite like the striving that human life involves, and the wanting to, you know, striving for excellence. I think that's quite a good thing. I don't think it means that we're spiritually lacking in any way. Here's Maisie, going to lie in the sunshine. It's really sunny suddenly in the back garden. The sun is reaching the bottom of the studio, which is superb. Right, I'm wanting to get another brush now, because what am I wanting to do? Oh yeah, the green sits underneath this one here. Ooh, okay, let's see about this. So I'm just picking up sap green all on its own, and let's see how that goes. I put sap green on there. To be honest, I can't see it. I can't really see what the colour is like, because the sun is shooting into my eye there. So I'm just going to trust that what I'm putting down is well judged. And I can see in the morning if I do any more to it. I've got a big board that I thought I might do a self-portrait on it again. This time it would be in acrylic or oil paint. It's an aluminium board. Just wanted to try it. I've also got one of these boards, ampersand, but a bigger one. I think it's like that. I don't know if it's exactly ampersand, but something like it anyway. And so I'll do something on that too. I don't know what. We'll see. And I'm doing a session with a group on Thursday where I'm going to be painting. I'll bring along vases and mixed media to make flowers, for each of them to take home a flower painting that they've made themselves on the night. So I've got, I think there's 20 of them, and I've got 6 vases, or 7 little vases with some of these flowers. I might take this one along actually. And I'm wanting to do a little demonstration. We've only got an hour and a half really of working time. Do a little demonstration, bring along some collage paper and stuff, and oil pastels, maybe some ink, sticks. Hopefully we won't spill it all over the shop, because it's not a fit for purpose room really. Though they do have sinks in the kitchen at least. Sinks and a kitchen. But I think I'll be timing off. Like, mixed media is brilliant for practicing something quick like that, and fun, and getting there quickly. I think sometimes it's helpful having a time restriction on things, and materials restriction too. I'm bringing acrylic paint. I was wondering about that, whether to bring paint or not, but I think I'll bring a limited selection of acrylic paint. The reason I'd say not is because sometimes you can just launch into paint alone and that's it. We just stick with paint the whole time. And then I'd have to bring loads of, it's not even that I bother about bringing the variety, but sometimes I think you can get stuck in all the different colours and you can just worry about paint mixing, and really there's loads of ways of describing things that don't involve paint. So that's what we're going to focus on. I'll do a little video showing you the demonstration that I did after the event. And I'll bring the pot that I would have done the demonstration from back here as well, maybe. Show you. And you know, if you ever want to have a photograph of the painting of the flowers that I'm working from, if you'd like to give them a go, just let me know. But I think you're best really setting up your own flowers in your own light, especially if you've got one source of natural light. That's the really appealing thing, I find. Now that shadow has gone all kind of dusty and ochre-y in the afternoon light. So I'm just going to talk to you about the cast shadow on this pillowcase / tablecloth. So I'm just going to let it dissipate a little bit more. I'm moving it over and over because I didn't like the lines that were in it. I don't know if I even meant to really put that in there. Okay. I'd say I could do with putting in a bit more of the background on that area that's just all white. I'd imagine if I come back in the morning there'll be a wonderfully different light here that I could really enjoy. I don't know. But I suppose I can still let this be the bones of it anyway, and when I come back I can adjust things to be a bit more dynamic, maybe. Okay, I've nearly forgot about my favourite thing about this pot, which is that line dividing the middle. I'm going to put some ultramarine blue and white together to make that line. I love to err on the side of making it a touch brighter than it really is. Like that. And maybe there's another little patch of that here. And then on the shadow side it can have a bit of that raw umber in it maybe. And it gets wider over here too. It's funny. I picked this vase up in a Salvation Army shop years ago. And you know, I think it was maybe made by an amateur potter or something in an evening class. I don't know. That's my impression anyway. And it's been so inspiring for me for so many paintings. Interesting, isn't it? I just keep returning to this one. I had a beautiful jug that had flowers in it too that I really loved for a while, and then it broke, and my friend bought me another one, and I also broke that. And I thought in the end, I think the pink flowery jug phase is over. And no matter how many times I buy it, it's going to continue breaking if I keep painting the blessed thing. Because some things you just need to move on, don't you? If you look on my website or anywhere, you'll see loads of that flowery jug painting. Loads of flowery jug paintings. This particular pink one, which I no longer have. I was so kind to my friend as well once I broke it to buy me that new one. Exactly the same. And next thing, I broke that one too. Just finding the edge of this flower a bit more clearly for myself. And also the edge of the dark coming to meet the light on this side. I suppose another thing I could have done was to brighten up the paint here to make it thicker. Because that's where the light is really falling. And I think there's something too about the direction of the marks that make it either that make the paint catch the light or not. I think, I don't know, just being kind of footering now maybe. That's a cool word, isn't it? Not exactly sure what it means, but I like it. It's a bit of a blousy old setup. I'm not really that convinced of it. I think it's something to do with maybe with the that area. Kind of wanting some bit of drama somewhere, or maybe just a bit more truly the colour I'm seeing here. I think this might be it. I need a little bit more white. Yeah, I'm going to try this. Let's see. I'll put some cerulean blue in. I know it looks quite green on there. I'll keep the faith and keep going with it and see. And then there's this reflection of brightness down the middle. Oh. I don't want it to start feeling a bit twee now that I'm just like wanting to go straight for the drama and forget about the real. You know, like making a twinkle in the eye. Oh, noisy. I've seen a kind of bright patch down at the bottom there that I think is almost pinky. It's an almost pink and bit of a shine. So I'm trying to make it, but being very lazy, I'm using the same brush that I used for the green, so maybe it's not laziness, maybe it's because I feel like there might be a touch of green in that shine as well. That's what I'm telling myself anyway. And put a bit of yellow in. Yeah, that's it. I think that's the colour I'm looking for, but with a bit more white in it. I don't know where they put the kitchen paper. There it is. I'm going to take all that paint off and scoop up the cleanish colour I've just made, because every time I used it the green was leaching into it. So it's something like that, I think. Might not be quite that bright, but anyway, I've done it now. Some little bumps are catching the light here. Bless you, that was a big sneeze. I think I'll just let it alone because I don't know what to do next. I have some ideas, and then when you get ideas you start footering too much. But, right, let me just hold me to this now. This is going to be my last mark. I've told you, so I'm gonna stay true to that. Oh, my last area to paint. You see, I've made it too similar to the colour of the yellow now. I want it still to read like the centre of the flower rather than the petal. Why did I start that messing around? You kind of knew, didn't you, that I was needing to stop. I'm just going to stop. Thanks for your attention. And it might be a different painting that's on the easel tomorrow, we'll see. I'm not sure if I'm done with this or not. But I'm inspired by the composition. I do enjoy painting with the flowers and the natural light with the backdrop being so dark. And if you've got the time and space in your lives, I'd recommend you give it a go. Or ask me for the photograph of these flowers. Oh, I've got pins and needles in my toes. And see, when I turn off the video, I'm not going to do any more to the painting. But that's actually a lie, because I am. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye.